Welcome back to Everyone, a podcast about celebrating storytelling. Daniel was just trying on, a little behind the scenes for you guys. Daniel was trying on if he's going to put a light on or not. Daniel, I'm sorry to say, it still makes you look pale, man. I'm just kidding. Just roasting you out of the
turn
gate.
it lower.
No.
Dude,
Daniel's just
gotta,
in darkness. Podcast.
It's either you get darkness with this room I'm in, or I'm just like completely lit up. There's like literally no in between.
You just
There's like
lit,
no
man.
soft lighting whatsoever.
You emit light because you're so like joyous. That wasn't another day.
I thought you were saying because you're so pale.
No, I was trying to like bring it back around, but I realized as I was setting that up, it sounded like I was setting up another dig, and I was like, wait, no, I don't want to do that. But speaking of stuff we can dig on and rag on, we're talking about the Marvels this week. Spoilers, some major big spoilers ahead. I don't think I said. Yeah, sorry.
No, I just loved your text to me. You're like, because you have what the stubs thing or whatever. So like
AMC. Oh yeah.
So you're like,
I can just
apparently
book anything.
I'm sitting down to watch the Marvels. Like, what the heck? Like,
No,
you didn't
no,
know
no,
what movie you're seeing.
No, I knew I was seeing the Marvels. Like I booked the Marvels, but when I sat down, it was IMAX, and I was like, oh, I did not know I was experiencing this in IMAX. So I got to the theater and like I checked my phone. And it was like the theater I went to was like 15, and I was like, oh, this is the IMAX theater. Okay, didn't realize that was happening. So I got to experience the Marvels in all of its IMAX glory. But yeah, we're gonna get into that. What'd you think overall?
I thought it was a movie.
Yeah. I went in with really low expectations, and they were surpassed, actually.
Yes,
like,
I will say that. Yeah.
I don't think it's the worst thing Marvel has done in Phase 5 by a long shot. Like, I think it's not the best thing either. It's not like Guardians 3. Like, I loved Guardians 3, but like, but it's better than Quantumania, in my opinion. That's kind of...
agreed.
Which is like a very big range, but like that still I feel like says something.
Well, yeah, no, I agree. I was gonna say Eternals, but I'm like, we don't even need to bring that up. Like,
that was also Phase 4.
Was that Phase 4? I
think so, yeah. Because Phase 5 started with Quantumania like earlier this year, and Eternals was like eons ago. We still haven't seen.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
See, the 4 to 5 is just blurry in my mind.
I know. Marvel doesn't have a vision. We've talked about that before, but I just want to get a little general info off the top. It's been a while since we've done like a movie review, and I'm like excited to be back, but also I'm like, it's the Marvels, so like it's like low stakes. So it's kind of like low stakes, you know? Like we can just kind of get back into it. But the budget for this apparently was like around 200 million. It wasn't exact what they said, and then the gross on opening weekend was $110 million, which I think is like the lowest Marvel gross like ever. I think.
Dang.
Which I don't think it rightfully deserved that, honestly. Like. It was a pretty fun movie. There were a lot of fun moments. There were definitely flaws in it, which we'll get into, but like, I don't know. I feel like people kind of wrote this one off, myself included. I actually want to apologize because last week when you were crapping on Inside Out and you were like, I'd rather watch the Marvels over this. And I was like, you take that back. Like, I definitely still wish you would take that back because I still think Inside Out is a far superior film to the Marvels, but it's not as big of a gap as I was predicting, having not seen it. So
I'm not taking it back.
I know. But I know that was just more to clear my conscience because I felt bad for just like judging it before seeing it. And now that I've seen it, I was like, it's not that bad, but like still I'd prefer Inside Out a lot. But
let me ask you this real quick.
Yeah.
This is related. So have you seen the latest South Park special thing? The Pandaverse thing.
The Pandaverse? No, I haven't. I just saw Streaming Wars. That's the last one I just saw.
So I went with my parents, right, to go see the Marvels.
Oh, I thought you were
and that's all they were referencing.
Thing. Oh, your parents were referencing that?
Yeah, just the Pandaverse.
Oh, okay. Is it like related somehow? Or?
The whole thing in so the whole thing with the South Park bit is like they're just Disney. All Disney is doing is put a woman in it and make her gay. Like that was the whole thing that they kept on having happen.
Oh, well, I think they kind of did gender swap the villain. Like I think the villain's a dude in the comics, and they like made that villain a woman in this one.
Yeah. I don't think it was Panderverse per se, but it was just funny in my context with my parents just like in my ear the whole thing like Panderverse. Panderverse. And I'm like, what the heck are you guys talking about? Because I didn't watch it before.
Yeah.
And I watched it after.
Did you watch it after? I haven't seen it. I'll check it out. But I felt like the plot of this was more like Spaceballs. Like the planet's dying, and so they have to steal like the air. They have to get canned air. And,
Yeah.
like, steal the air from another planet. Like, this is kind of the plot of Spaceballs loosely.
But here's what I don't get with that, right? Like, you have
Spaceballs is funny.
well, that too.
Well, this one was actually had some funny moments, but yeah.
But like, you have the ability to make like a warp gate to somewhere else, right?
Yes.
Anywhere else.
Why not put it in a bank
Why not put it on another planet that's good?
and just like transfer her people there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have made sense, but I also feel like I think she wanted to restore
No, like
her
she
home
wanted to get
planet,
Miss Marvel,
which I
like,
understand.
yeah.
Well, yeah, she wants to get back at Captain Marvel, but also like I think she wants to restore her planet because like you never want to leave like it's hard to leave home. So like I understand trying to like fight
No,
and
I
save,
totally get that.
but also
But
yeah,
also,
that's
like,
completely
survival.
they could have like yeah, maybe if like that wasn't working, they could have like done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some plot issues, but yeah. Sorry, going back to the general info. So 200 million budget so far. The gross was 110 million dollars. The director was Nia DaCosta. She also did the Candyman film that recently came out like a couple years ago, and that's like kind of the big notable thing that I saw on her IMDb that she did.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so I think the way we usually did this, it's been so long, but we kind of jump into the characters and talk through each one and then go into the plots. Do you want to jump into the characters a bit? We thought of everyone?
Sure. Captain Marvel.
I
She's
liked her better in this one than in the first one.
Yeah.
I actually think like the group dynamic between the three of them worked a lot of the time in favor of the movie. Like as a sequel,
Agreed.
like I wasn't really a big fan. I think I like this one better than the first Captain Marvel actually. I think it was
I don't know if I'll say that.
I don't know. It was more fun, I'll say. I haven't seen the first Captain Marvel. I think since it came out, so maybe I need to
Yeah.
watch it. But I think the idea, like the big idea that like all of them link together and like are switching whenever they use their powers is a great way to nerf Captain Marvel, because I think a problem with Captain Marvel in the MCU is that she's like too powerful and like can just solo everyone. And I was like, what's gonna stop her from doing that? And I think the fact that she couldn't use her powers, or like whenever she used her powers, like she'd teleport randomly, like that is a good way to nerf her that served the plot very well, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I totally agreed. And on the flip of that, I feel like Kamala Khan was like the glue for what you're talking about, like the group dynamic. I feel like she was really
Kamala
the
Khan
glue
was
that
the
like
heart
really
of this movie. I
pull it
loved
together.
her
Yeah.
in this. She was
100%.
by far the best part in this movie.
Agreed.
Or yeah, we could talk about her if we want. We could go back to Captain Marvel. I actually had Miss Marvel, like Kamala Khan, like listed first on the characters I wanted to talk about. Is that okay if we chat?
Yeah,
about her?
no, I'm totally good with that.
Yeah, I loved her like joyous energy, and like when she was on the dance, and this is like her first Marvel film debut. I thought it was a fantastic job, and she like kept up with the big league players like very well. I feel like she walked the line very well of being this super fan, but also not being cringy about it. Like I feel like
Yeah.
that could have very easily become like really cringy or just like over the top. Like she's just a super Captain Marvel fan. And I would have like kind of been turned off to her character and like that. But I think she walked that line very well, and I was on board like the whole time.
Yeah, agreed. I think she and even then too, like there's moments where she's like, I didn't even allow you to be a person. I was too caught up in like you. Like the fact that she's having moments to even have that realization.
Shows a lot of maturity. Yeah.
Yeah.
I that's about what I have to say. I just really liked her and like her energy. Like, all right, another example is when they're on the dancing or singing planet, and then they're like dancing through the town, and Miss Marvel's like in the background, just like dancing, like going crazy, like just fully invested in this like world. I was like, that's funny, and I don't know, it was really cool. I also like that they flipped the dynamic. Like the cliche I feel like is that when you have like a character that idolizes another character, the like idol character, like the Captain Marvel, would kind of be like, oh, I want nothing to do with you, like get away from me. And I like that they didn't go that route. Like I like that Captain Marvel recognized that Miss Marvel was like this huge fan and kind of like took her under her wing a bit and like accepted her, not like immediately, but like there wasn't like this like they didn't have to get over like, oh, I want nothing to do with you in like an overbearing way.
Yeah.
So let's go back to Captain Marvel. What did you want to say about her?
I just don't like her as a character. I'm not gonna lie. She's okay. She's all right. You know, she's space mommy, I guess. But
whoa, spammy.
Or I guess I should say Space Auntie.
Spanty,
Spanty? Yeah, Spanty.
I guess. Okay. So would that make Monica Rambeau, like, she doesn't have a name, she would be the niece, space niece, Speece. That's her superhero name. Speece met Beast. Hey, it kind of works.
Yeah, that does work out, dude. Okay, I will say the end credit there, and also like the one with forming the Young Avengers. Like,
Yeah.
that I'm like glad there's finally some direction that's coming from MCU again a little bit.
Wait, what do you mean? Which one? Both?
Well, both really.
Because I disagree with that. I disagree
What do you
that
mean?
the X-Men has any direction, because they've introduced mutants like 7 times in the MCU. Like, they said it at the end of Miss Marvel,
yeah.
like, oh, she's a mutant, and then that wasn't referenced to.
I was more talking about the Young Avengers, but I was gonna say both.
No,
Just to be like,
I agree. That's why I was saying, like, which one, because I agree that I'm excited about the Young Avengers and with that direction, and I think going back again to Miss Marvel, I think Kamala Khan I would love to see her like in either like a leadership role or just like her starting to get a team together. Even if she doesn't end up in the leadership role, I think that could be really cool to see that, and that seems like the direction to build towards the next Avengers, or even Young Avengers. But I disagree. Like, I feel like especially for the general audience, just like the X-Men, they've like tried to pull it in so many different ways. Like they mentioned mutants in Miss Marvel, that she's a mutant at the very end. Then they teased the X-Men in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, and then they were just like murdered. And then they have it here where it's like, oh, it's like an alternate dimension, and it's like kind of the 90s style but live action with the same actor from the old X-Men, and like maybe we'll bring him in. And it's just like I don't know what's happening. It just feels like it's kind of directionless, and for the general audience, I can see how it could be extremely confusing, like what's happening. There's like 3 different versions of the X-Men and mutants that have been like referenced in Marvel.
yeah, no, I can get that confusion. I mean, I feel like ultimately they're trying to get it to lead up to Secret Wars.
Yeah,
and I think there's also been rumors about that too, about them getting like Toby as like they're trying to get like the prime versions of like different universes. Characters, so you get like Toby, and then like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and then you get the other X-Men through that. And here's what I think is going to ultimately happen, right? I think there's going to be an incursion level event that's going to happen within Secret Wars that's then going to result in our main reality that we've been following to collapse into or combine with another one, but instead of like completely just like annihilating each other, that they'll like somehow interweave and like combine.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like, you started talking about that theory, and I'm just like realizing that I'm just like so Marvel fatigued. Like, I think part of it is like I work on a lot of the shows now, so I like work on Marvel projects, then I come home, I do a podcast on Marvel projects, then I go watch movies and TV shows on Marvel projects. I'm just like, I'm so done. I'm like, this is a lot, dude. Like,
you need a break.
They keep churning stuff out, but I also feel like it's not just me, because like I feel like the general audience that doesn't have as deep of a love for Marvel that I do, like can't even get to that level, like, and their tolerance is like being broken.
Yeah.
I don't know, but sorry, back to the movie, like, because this was a pretty enjoyable movie. I will say go back to Captain Marvel. Like, what did you think of the dynamic between Captain Marvel and Monica Rambeau, and that whole like kind of tension between them and everything?
It made sense. Here's why I just don't like it as her as a character, as in Captain, because it feels like they're like, oh yeah, she's just been out in space this whole time. How can we like write a story around that, instead of like setting her up in a way to be like, hey, there's a purpose to her, like actually, like there's a whole setup to her like killing the freaking Prime whatever AI thing, right? And then it just happened in like a sequence in the beginning of the movie.
That happened at the end of the last movie. It was the consequences of the last movie that impacted.
She blew it up in the last movie?
Yes, except they kind of retconned it a bit. Like, it wasn't, that's why you're probably confused, is because it wasn't like a big AI face. When she went back to the Kree, she blew it up like this, like the tower. There was no like AI face, but I think that's more aligned with the comics. So this time they like retconned it. So it's, but like that is the end of, like the idea is that the end of the first movie, this is now the consequences of that. So I do like that idea. But apparently it went completely over your head. So
yeah,
maybe
that's another thing. I'm just like,
well.
okay, that doesn't make. Yeah, okay. So no, I can get that. I the fact that I don't remember that. Okay, I'm just gonna say it's not written well. It's just not.
Because after she's on the planet with Jude Law, like I think she like flies back to the.
I remember her
the
killing him
Kree.
at the end.
She,
him dying
I
at
think,
the end.
yeah. Well, yeah. Then she goes back and kills the Kree leader because she thinks she's helping the galaxy, which I think as a part of the greater good she did, but then like left the Kree kind of condemned there. Also, I saw someone point out like that it's definitely not or Captain Marvel's fault that like their planet died, because what happened was like the AI like she blew up the AI, which is fine, like which I guess sucks, but like then it's your responsibility as like the people of that planet to like run the planet. Like it's not her fault that you're just not capable of like maintaining a planet without an AI. Like just do your like maintain your planet. Like it's not her fault you made the sun go out. Like what?
Well, yeah, but it's like how did they even make the sun go out? Like what were they doing? What was the AI preventing the people from doing?
The AI is like guided them, or like guided them to like make good decisions that didn't drive their planet into like turmoil. But I guess because the AI was
I get
gone,
that, but like how is are they like mining their sun?
They don't explain it, Daniel. I don't know.
That's my point. They don't. So it's just like so you're just left in the open about like what's the connection between the AI.
I buy that part. You seem to be upset about this. I buy that point, but I just don't think it was like done super well. Like it did seem because also the flashback doesn't happen at the beginning. It happens like in the middle of the movie. Like if it was at the beginning, I feel like it could have like I would have understood the villain's motives. Like for the first like half of the movie, I had no idea why the villain was doing what they were doing.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
But
yeah,
but
hey, instead of getting an explanation, we got Singing Planet for like.
I actually liked that,
instead.
And I think I heard rumors that like that was cut down a lot. Like it could have been a lot worse. I actually really like. So you just mentioned that like, oh yeah, Miss Marvel's like, or Captain Marvel's up in space and like we don't really get to see a lot of what she does. I like when it's like a side part of the plot, when it's like not explained. It shows that she has been doing things in space. Like she just had this like wild adventure.
No, I agree with you. I like it when that's done. And I'll let you finish your thought. I'm saying I agree with you.
And when Captain Marvel like goes to the Singing Planet and it's like revealed that she like has had a whole adventure there. I really like that. And like the idea of like, oh, Captain Marvel has gone on all these adventures and helped people throughout space. Like she had to marry this guy for like political gain and to like keep this planet safe. I really like that. And also the fact that it's like a singing planet, I think it's just like a fun twist because like planets can be different in different worlds. Like I actually really enjoyed that part. I thought it was creative. Okay.
I agree with you. Here's what I was saying. I agree with you when there's characters off doing their own things, and it's like, oh yeah, they were doing.
But when
it's
the main plot with the villain, I agree that's like no, like I need to see that kind of thing.
Well, yeah, no, exactly, I agree. But like it's done with the Guardians too, right? Like we'll be like, oh yeah, we went out and did like that adventure that time, or like we had that mission or whatever. Like they'll like quip about it, right? Like that's fun to see, and like it makes sense. I just don't like if you're gonna add something like a singing planet, it just felt very both overly done and half-assed at the same time.
I kind of disagree with that. Like I really like that part, but I think there were other aspects that I agree that like some of it felt rushed and half-assed because this was like a very short movie, and I think I read that like a lot of this was cut. Like a lot of the movie was like cut down to kind of trim down the fat, and I think they might have overcorrected and kind of like streamlined it too much. So much so that like some of the emotional beats didn't have like enough time to resonate and land. Personally, for me, I think the first 2/3 of the movie, I really was enjoying having a good time. And then as soon as they leave the singing planet and then go into like the third act and the final battle, it just like kind of fell apart for me. Like I think
interesting,
because as soon as they leave the singing planet, they go through that jump point. Like Miss Marvel forces them through that jump point. Captain Marvel's like a little upset, and then they immediately land and get out in this field and like don't even discuss what just happened like in that huge battle, but they just go into this like deep conversation about like Monica opening up about like, oh, I'm sad that you never came back. Why didn't you come back? And then Captain Marvel being like, I was like afraid because you were gonna see me as the Annihilator, and I had to fix this first. And Miss Marvel like. Being Miss Marvel, I don't remember what she did there, but like it felt like that was like the emotional that was like the emotional meat of the whole film, where they were like building to that moment where Captain Marvel and Monica have to like reconcile, but like I felt like there was not nearly enough build up. Like I didn't really feel like they were like butting heads too much. They were just like a little awkward around each other, and then all of a sudden they're just having this super emotional conversation right after this giant battle that they're just like ignoring. It just felt like emotional like whiplash to me.
I have a couple of responses to that.
Okay.
One, going back to your previous statement about like what you enjoyed time-wise in the film. I was enjoying it until we got to the scene Planet. At that point, then I thought it was dumb, like really dumb.
Okay.
And then after that, when they had like the Flurkin eating all the people, like all the little cats,
I liked
was
that
okay.
a lot.
Like that's bringing it back a little bit.
I really liked that. Do you know that song was from Cats, like the musical Cats? That song they played.
Really, I didn't know that. I'm not a musical guy, but that would make sense.
Yeah, but that was like perfect. Sorry, you were saying.
Yeah, perfect. But
meow, me wow, Daniel.
Okay, that's forcing it.
I took it too far.
But then going into the final fight, I agree with you. The final fight was honestly garbage. Just spatially, the awareness and the situation.
Because they're in space.
It was bad. Well, yeah,
I
but
brought
like
it back.
like, it was like we're in the Kree thing, and then it's like okay, but they're doing something with the sun. But now we're over in this other spot of space where there's just this open fucking tear. So it's just like
I also feel like at that point, this is another thing that with Monica that I feel like Monica was really like on the back seat, like out of the three, like had nothing really to do the whole time until right at the very end when they're like, all right, now you're the only one that can stop this. Fuse her with the power and then go through. I was like, whoa, what? Like, I feel like the filmmakers thought like, we haven't given Monica enough to do. Let's have her like be the big sacrifice at the end.
Yeah.
Because I was like, and then it just like came out of nowhere. That's just how I felt a little bit.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to say was your gripe with the like them like not really like building up to having enough conflict for them to have like that like yelling session or whatever when they land on the.
It wasn't even a yelling session. It was just like a really boringly shot, just like conversation,
argument,
like calm conversation after they were in this giant life or death battle. But yeah, sorry.
But no, my point to that, and I feel like I can attest to this, like because of all the Latinas I have in my family, is that's just a Latina, like it's a woman thing. It's a woman thing. Like they'll let it sit, and then it's just. I mean, to be fair, we do it. I know, like guys do it too. I'm just saying it felt very much like stereotypical, like generalized, like oh yeah, women do that. And I'm like, okay, you're like literally writing it like that. That's kind of.
But my thing was like I didn't feel like it built like enough or like at all, like to warrant that like. Let's have this conversation about this now. Like, it just felt like a little awkward. But I guess you're saying that, like, that was it building. But I don't know. I just didn't get that feeling. But, yeah.
I know where you're coming from with that. I feel like they're trying to do too many things at one time. That was ultimately the fail in this movie.
Really? Like, what? What too many things?
And also, I feel like the tone of it. Because they really didn't know what kind of tone to go forward with.
I thought the tone was pretty funny. But I think they needed more, like... emotional like depth between the three leads, and I think they had the right pieces of it, but I don't think it was like broad. I don't know how to express it, but like brought out enough or like deep enough. And I don't know if part of that was because so much was cut from this, but like I think they had like the checkbox like of a good movie, but like wasn't executed as perfect, like as great as it could have been. Like I could see what some things were trying to do, but sorry.
No. Here's what I would have loved to see out of this, right? Because they had so many opportunities that just didn't get like fulfilled per se. Mm-hmm. Like they like in a way were finally describing like the architecture of the universe with all the jump gates and positions and how it was all set up.
Yeah, the bangles.
Like, that makes sense without. But like if you're adding all these extra points, like fracking,
it'll tear. Yeah.
So I'm like. That could be like a super like that should be like the main thing with this movie. It's not like some kind of like side thing where it's like, oh, I feel bad about this planet. Yada, yada.
Maybe
like,
they're setting that up like for Secret Wars or something.
They could, but like it's gonna be more multiversal stuff. It's not gonna be just. My point is like imagine the MCU.
It can get you to another universe though, like as we saw at the end. Like if it tears too much,
if you break it enough, sure.
Yeah,
that's like using
that could be the thing. That's literally what you just said. Like, if that should have been the main point, like they could have explored that beat more.
Well, yeah, but no. What I was trying to say, not in between universes, right? What I'm trying to say is, imagine the MCU, where there's no like you're now in a state to where you have no more jump points within the MCU because like it collapsed, right? So that means you're now putting all the other characters in like this new kind of position to where now they have to like figure out how they're going to be getting around. So like imagine the Guardians
would
like, hey, we have no
impact too much. That would just impact the Guardians, which we're not going to get any more Guardians movies, and like it would impact Captain Marvel because like no one on like Earth uses jump points regularly. I feel like that wouldn't have as huge of an impact as you would hope.
That's arguably. I mean, if you're getting into like, I feel like they set up Star Fox a good bit. That'd be a good way to like get him into that. Like,
I don't
could
know.
be, like, one of his
I don't know if
conflicts.
like the jump points are as big of a deal for people. Like I don't think like, oh, we have no more jump points. Like what are we gonna do? I don't think like that's been set up enough for like anyone to care, like the general audience to be like, oh no, they don't have jump points. Like I just feel like they'll be like, okay, we traveled a long time to get here. Now here's the action kind of thing. I
Okay,
don't know.
no, that was fair. That was fair.
But I want to talk about the villain a bit because we haven't talked about
Yeah.
her. I think Dar Ben was the
Yeah.
name of the villain. The actress was Zaw Ashton, who is actually Tom Hiddleston's real life fiance. They're engaged. So they both
Oh.
had some big Marvel projects come out this week, which is pretty cool. I thought her plan actually, like when she just like I know you maybe don't agree that like she should have like brought the atmosphere to that planet, but I think it's pretty creative, like using the jump points that have been established as like portals to steal resources from the planets that Captain Marvel like holds near and dear is like a pretty creative and cool plan.
That is a cool plan. I will agree with you on that. I'm just saying, like, if you're like in a life or death.
Yeah,
like-
no, I know. I'm just saying, but like
Yeah.
the way it was executed, I think it was really cool, and like the visuals of like the atmosphere getting sucked out or the water getting sucked to this planet, and like seeing her like succeed, I think was pretty cool. And it's also I do think just that brings me into a point about space. Like I feel like space in the MCU was really defined by Guardians, and then anytime that Guardians, like James Gunn isn't directing a project and it's like an MCU project that mentions or goes to space, it feels like a cheap like impersonation of James Gunn's vision of space. And I think this wasn't exactly up to James Gunn's level, but it was like I think the closest we've gotten without James Gunn at the helm of this project, in my opinion. Does that make sense?
I would say kind of.
Or maybe Infinity War and like Endgame actually. So besides
I'd say those
then.
two and Thor Ragnarok.
Oh yeah, okay, maybe not. Yeah, maybe. Okay, well this was just like it's good. I forgot about those. Yeah. Okay. What did you think of Fury?
It's just interesting to see him leading. Was it sword now? Is it sword or saber?
Saber, I think.
Saber.
Sword? I don't freaking know. One of the something. But like
He's got to be leading some kind of acronym. You know, that's just
that starts
his
with
thing.
an S.
Yeah. If I had a nickel.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting. Going back to like sword or what is it called? Sword or what?
The new one's either sword or saber.
I think it's saber.
Yeah. I think it is saber.
Yeah, it is saber. So
Monica
the thing
says,
that
yeah.
like my coworker brought up to me, we were talking about this about the Marvels. Like saber just felt like very different than the last time we saw, because I think it was like the post credits of like Far From Home, because like we find out that Fury on Earth is like a scroll in the post credit scene, and then it like we see Fury on a beach. It's a fake beach, and then it pans out, and you see like Saber's like this city. It's like this city, like it's like huge and like vast with resources, and this just felt like a completely different place. And I'm not really faulting this movie. It just felt like there was like a bit of a continuity issue. Like this felt like it was like a room and a half, compared to the city that that was on. Like I don't know, it just felt like Saber was like got a redesign, which isn't really an issue. Like it served the point of the.
Well, this
plot.
could be like a little module of saber. I don't know. Maybe it's not the whole of it.
It's the R of Saber.
Yeah.
It's like one letter. If they spell saber in space, it's like rooms. There's letters. But yeah, but also people have been comparing that like Fury just like seems like a completely different version of Fury compared to Secret Invasion.
Well, that's the thing. I still haven't seen Secret Invasion.
Oh, well, he's like more serious, and also like they deal with like a lot of issues with the Skrulls, and like he doesn't talk about the Skrulls or anything that happened in Secret Invasion like at all in this, which again, not really faulting the director, but I feel like the writers or Kevin Feige or someone should have like had some more like synergy there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Tessa Thompson had a cameo. Valkyrie.
Yeah. That was another moment where my parents were like, Pandaverse. I'm like, oh, that like actually makes sense. Like it makes leading New Asgard and all that, you know? Like if there's anybody you want to call, be her.
I like imagining that every time they say it, you just get more and more pissed. Like just let me enjoy the movie. This one makes sense.
But yeah. It was cool seeing her use the Bifrost to get specifically to the ship and then back out.
Yeah, that was like very specific use of the Bifrost.
Come to think of it, no, this is a Bifrost thing, right? If you think about it, right, back in Thor 1,
I never think about things.
When he got like dumped the first time.
Yeah, it like left that mark.
Yeah,
But maybe
they
that's
did that
because
by
it was
choice.
like maybe like it wasn't maybe the technology has like advanced over the years, like because like they were using that like giant like laser spinning thing. So maybe that one, because it's like so direct, like leaves a mark.
That's fair.
Like and maybe like Tessa Thompson was just using like
Magnum Frost.
Stormbreaker or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. Or like the goat just like vomited and like shot her up there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what do you think of the action in this overall?
I thought
Like all
that
the switching,
honestly,
the choreography.
it was pretty good. I will say that, especially in the
agree.
beginning.
Yes, I think it
it-
got slowly worse over time, but not like drastically dropped off. But like
Yeah.
the beginning was definitely the best. in
When
my
when they
opinion.
first had that moment where they were all three cycling through in that whole sequence.
When they were figuring it out, like yeah,
Yeah.
when they're going down the space elevator and then switching to the Kree planet and then Miss Marvel's house, fantastic choreography in my opinion. It's but like
Yeah, and like in the middle of that, I'm like, oh my god, I'm actually enjoying this movie.
yeah,
Like, what-
yeah, same. I had that same moment. Yeah. Yeah, I like
I
that. And I
didn't
liked
expect
like
that.
throughout it, like Miss Marvel is like freaking out because she's like seeing Nick Fury and like trying to impress him, but also like fight this. Like I thought it was really cool.
I will say this: Kamala's fun and stuff, but she's not that smart. Like
Why?
the time when she was falling down, I'm like, you can make anything out of light.
You're also free falling. Like you're
Just
probably
make a-
panicking.
Just make a wing. Literally, just make a giant crystal wing attached to your
Daniel,
back.
they had
and
to
then
have
you
some
just turn it into a
tension.
glider. Then you're good.
Glider. I hardly know her.
Aerodynamics.
They had to have some tension, Daniel.
I get it. I get it.
And
But-
they had to have
but no,
Monica
but-
do
but here's the
something.
thing.
This was one of that was one of the two things Monica did. You couldn't take that away from her.
But no, but well, she didn't even save her at the end.
I know,
It-
but she tried to. That was one of the two things she did.
But no, when they swap places again, when the momentum carry and they still just go splat, like
Yep, I know. Hey, now you're thinking with portals, Daniel.
just because we didn't see the splat. That's one thing I was like, they definitely be dead. I played Portal. I know how this
Maybe
works.
like right before she used her powers, like Captain Marvel like turned sideways, so they just like slid like really far or something. And then and we just didn't see them like jogging back. Like they had to jog a mile back because they just skidded like a mile down the road.
Yeah. Like half their face is just gone from just freaking being
It's
dragged. on the road.
Two-Face as they come back.
Oh, no.
I also thought this was interesting. This was like I feel like the third movie recently that Marvel used like a Beastie Boys song.
Yeah.
And I'm worried they're gonna like. I think they're already starting to like get it close to
They're
like
gonna out
overusing
Beastie the
them.
boys.
Yeah, you can never out Beastie the boys, but like you can. Marvel is gonna get out Beastied by the boys. So
Well said. Well said.
thank you. I don't know. Words just started coming out, and I just spouted poetry.
But yeah.
Yeah, I just noticed that. What are your? We already said future predictions. What do you think? How do you think Monica's like gonna get back? She's not.
Secret Wars. I don't know.
That's just your
Just
answer
give me
for
my answer for
everything.
everything now.
I don't know what's happening except Secret Wars is happening. So Secret Wars is when something's gonna happen.
But yeah.
I really am excited about like we talked about earlier, like the Kate Bishop,
Yeah.
Miss Marvel like meetup. Like I really want that to go somewhere, and like I'm excited to
Yeah,
see
so-
the Young Avengers.
So who all do we have for the Young Avengers lineup right now? So we have Miss Marvel, we have Kate Bishop, we have Young Wasp, whatever her name is, whatever
Yep.
her name is.
The girl from Doctor Strange.
Girl from America Chavez, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
America Chavez. You
We have,
potentially Peter,
Potentially Peter. We have
Patriot.
Isaiah Bradley. I think that's his name. His nephew. Remember, I think is a character.
Yeah, Patriot.
Oh, that's okay.
You thought I didn't know that one. Come on, Jake. Come
I
on.
didn't know. I didn't know his name. Who else is young and in Avengers
And hip.
movies?
Well, that's
Maybe like
6 right there,
Wanda's
isn't it?
children. Wanda's children, if they come back somehow. I don't know.
I don't think so. We technically saw Vision out in the middle of nowhere. What do you think he's been up to?
Vision. I want Vision to come back. I want
Yeah, I
White
know,
Vision
right?
to return. That's the
Wait, did we get that at
biggest
the end of
mystery.
WandaVision? Did we get a? That'd be so funny if it said it
He
like
just flew
Vision.
off. Yeah, Vision will return. Vision will return.
Vision will return.
No, I don't know where he's at. Yeah, that and the like celestial that emerged from Eternals. We have no idea like where that has what that just happened, and no one has mentioned it. In
The
the middle of the ocean, that celestial like body just like
Oh
emerged
yeah,
on Earth,
little
and no one
baby
has
boy,
mentioned it.
little baby ocean boy. Yeah, I mean Google Maps is probably still updating in their universe.
Yeah, I think that's like a good team. I feel like, for the Young Avengers, Avengers. Who else? Who else?
You also
could
have
it
the
be?
Black Knight guy from Eternals.
Oh
The
yeah.
Black swordsman guy.
Well, yeah,
Um,
Kit Harington from Game of
Yeah.
Thrones. From yeah.
All I know about Game of Thrones is dragons and incest. That's all I know about that.
Yeah, that's all you need to know. I'm like looking at my phone, like what Marvel movies have come out recently?
I'm trying to think of just like other characters that are like
Moon Knight?
main MCU Freebird. I mean, yeah, you got Moon Knight. Yeah, I don't think he'd be an Avenger or Young Avenger right now though.
What do you mean? Groot? What about Baby Groot? Still kicking? I don't know if any of the Guardians are to come back though.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, Peter
yeah.
Quill is set to return.
True, but he's not a young Avenger.
Oh, yeah, no. Well, I'm just talking about heroes.
Yeah.
Just thinking about like, who might we run into next.
I think Kate Bishop and
I think we named the
Miss
six.
Marvel is a really interesting team up. Yeah,
Yeah, agreed.
I like that a lot. Maybe Black Widow's freaking Yelena, whatever her name is. She's pretty young.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Elena.
All right. Any other final thoughts on the Marvels? I know we crapped on it a bit, but I think it was actually a pretty fun movie.
It was okay. It was
Yeah.
all right. It had plenty of flaws, but it had
Yeah.
good energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You ready for the next segment?
Well, that depends because there are other things we could talk about before we start jumping into like little side things.
Like
We
what?
did get the Madam Web trailer.
That's what I was gonna do into post banter and talk about that
Oh,
stuff.
okay. Okay.
If you just let me speak, then just kidding. Yeah, post banter. Well, the first thing up top I wanted to say is rest in peace, Matthew Perry. I think that happened
Yeah.
before we recorded last episode, but we just didn't mention it. I don't think we did, but yeah, it's
We did.
really sad. I really enjoyed Friends, so that's sad. I've seen a lot of the Friends cast is like posting about it now. I actually just downloaded his memoir as an audiobook. I'm gonna listen to that and check out what that's about. But and then we'll get into Madam Web. But have you heard the like Wile E. Coyote Warner Brothers movie situation? It's kind of crazy.
No. What?
So Wile E. Coyote was doing like it was like a Wile E. Coyote versus like Acme or something like movie where
It's
basically
like a Deadpool kills the universe, whatever. Kind of
no. So Wile E. Coyote basically he was gonna sue the company that like he bought all the traps from for Roadrunner that like. And he was like suing them because like none of the traps worked like the way they were supposed to, and so it was gonna be like kind of a twist on the Coyote Roadrunner like universe, and like apparently it was like a real like labor of love. People really were enjoying working on it, and like the creators were trying to stay extremely true to this like source of the character, like the soul of the character. And then Warner Brothers did what they did with Batgirl and Scoob, and they canned it. It was like basically done, and they canned it for tax incentives. For a tax incentive, so they're going to get like $30 million back. But people like were like pissed, and like a lot of people like online were like kind of raising like an outroar kind of thing. And then it was announced like a couple like either a day or two later that like I think the government was going to do like an investigation into Warner Brothers about like what the heck's like why they're canning this and what the like motives behind it were. And then an hour after that was announced, Warner Brothers was like, oh, actually, we're gonna allow these creatives to shop the project around to other like studios that might want to distribute it. And so now they're allowed to shop it around, and it sucks because Warner Brothers is still gonna get a profit from it because they're gonna have to sell it and buy it from Warner Brothers. But it's just crazy, dude. But I'm glad that they're getting some repercussions for just canning a movie. They can't keep doing this.
But
like,
okay,
it's crazy.
So you're saying it's for the tax reasons though? Like what's the situation with that again, specifically?
So I don't know specifically, but like I think this was like an HBO project that they were going to release, and I think they just projected that like it's not going to make as much money as they want, or like to make it profitable. So instead of like marketing it and promoting it, they were going to cut their losses. And if they promise to never release it to the public ever, they can write it off as a loss, like a tax write-off, and they'll get like X amount of millions of dollars back. Like I for some reason $30 million sticking out of my head. I have no idea if I pulled that out of somewhere, but like like Warner Brothers themselves will get like a tax rebate, will get money for never releasing this project that's done. It's purely financially motivated and greed, from my understanding.
That's very dumb. That's such a freaking cop out for.
And that's what they did with Batgirl and Scoob. We talked about that a couple of months ago, like last year. I don't know when it was.
I don't even get why that would be a tax refundable thing. Like that's so.
Because it's like considered like a loss. I don't know taxes. I'm not gonna pretend to know taxes, but
I get that, but like why?
It's like the only thing I understand in this conversation is that you do not understand taxes, Jake. Yes, I understand.
Why is that? Like no. Like hear me. Like why is that the one time the government's friendly to people and creatives?
It's not.
It's a big corporation that has a write-off for something like that.
Yeah, because
not creatives, but to studios.
Yeah, it's not to the creatives; it's to the studios.
But you know what I'm saying? It's just like. Why is that the one time you're friendly? Is like when you're helping out big business like that. That's so freaking dumb. Like
because they help the government. Big business helps the government. It's corrupt, Daniel. It's all corrupt. But
just
like
tired of everything being about money, man. I just want to have cool stuff.
Apparently, a lot of filmmakers have been canceling their meetings with Warner Brothers and like do not want to work with them anymore, which I think is good. Like
that's totally fair.
Yeah, Warner Brothers needs to like get it together. Okay. Let's not talk about that negativity anymore. Let's talk about something positive. The Madam Web trailer dropped. What'd you think, Daniel?
Dude, I don't know what they're doing. It could work out. It could not. It's just very forced. And I don't know why they're doing it this way. It seems like they're trying to get... Like, I know what direction they're trying to get to with this, right?
Are they trying to set up Madam Web as like this... multiversal figure? No.
They're trying to set up the Inheritors.
Okay. Who's
you know
that?
who the Inheritors are? They're a group of immortal vampiric beings that feed on spider totems.
Oh, piece of cake. Everyone will be on board with that.
But no, like in the comics, that's like the sole reason for like the OG Spider-Verse and all that. Well, I say OG, I mean like the mainstream like comic line, because Spider-Verse has been done in many obvious versions and incantations. Like back in like the 80s cartoon, you had the simplified Spider-Verse with different versions of Peter getting together. And anywho, the point is these guys are blood-sucking, spider-sucking, I guess you could say, dudes that have like rebirth chambers or whatever back in their...
That's what the villain of this one is?
No. The villain of this one
then?
Is Ezekiel Sims, and he was the original one that got Peter to understand all this kind of. He introduced him to that concepts of spider totems.
So maybe this is just like a misdirect trailer. Like maybe they're just editing it to look like he's the villain, and actually the villain will be someone else. I don't know.
No, he's going to be the villain, and here's why. Because in the comics, he's not around for a long time. It's only like a couple comics, but. Pretty much, he has spider-like powers. I think he got them through like a ritual or something. He became a spider totem, but he wasn't like as pure as Peter. That's the thing with the Inheritors. They want like pure-blooded, like heroic. It's like do you have a good soul? You know, or if you're a good soul, you're a good boy. You're more nutritious. So,
wow. So it pays to be bad if you're good. If you're too good, like it's not Santa will give you presents. It's someone will suck your spider blood.
Exactly. So it's just so weird. So what I think Ezekiel's doing in this film is like there's going to be these new spider totems that happen in this universe, and he's trying to kill them to try to save his own ass.
Ah, okay. I'm excited about the cast. I don't know much about all the lore behind it, but I'm excited. The cast seems... I'm just trying to pick something that I think is good. Like I think the cast looks good. I'm excited to see the new spider suits. Like new spider people are exciting, especially like live action.
They are accurate.
But like I feel like this was just like a bad trailer. Like it gave like... It was so long, but I felt like I learned almost nothing about the plot. Like it was just like random clips, like loosely tied together. I don't know. And she was like, "I can see the future."
Apparently, that guy from Parks and Rec is Ben.
I did see that. I saw him in this. He's Ben Reilly in it.
In this.
In the trailer. Yeah. That was one of the random clips. I don't know, Madam Web, man. Like Sony, just we talked about this, but like Sony, like their animation's so on point, but the live action is so not, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right, but let's talk about something that's actually okay. This isn't good news either, but like I was trying to like find. I was reading through. I was like, what other good news? I don't have any good news. But apparently, the Shang-Chi director is no longer attached to direct Avengers Kang Dynasty anymore. He will still be involved with another Marvel project like Wonder Man, but not Kang Dynasty.
That's interesting. Was there any reasons as to why he's not on that project anymore?
No, I just read the title. I have no idea. I just read the headline.
Cool.
Oh yeah, because I think maybe because he's focusing on the TV series Wonder Man. I don't know though. But I wonder who they're gonna get to replace it, or I wonder if this is like a preempt, like, hey, we're actually not doing. Maybe Marvel's like not doing Kang, like Kang Dynasty, and because the vision shifted, the director is like, I'm not on board anymore. Or I don't know. Maybe this is like a soft like launch to see like how the audience or like the general public feels about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's something. Oh, another good thing. This is actually good.
Okay.
What if season 2?
I did have that on my list. Yeah, it's like a Christmas themed one. That kind of dropped out of nowhere. They're just like, oh, we're dropping this like very soon. I'm kind of excited.
Actually, looks
about
pretty
that.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting because like it sounds like they got different voices this time. Like I don't think Paul Rudd's back for Ant-Man, and obviously like Chadwick Boseman's not gonna be Black Panther. But I don't know. I'm excited to see how it goes.
Yeah.
Also, the Percy Jackson series trailer just dropped. That's coming out end of December as well. In about
Oh,
a
they're
month.
doing a new Percy Jackson. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Apparently, it's like people are excited about it, like because it's like a series. It's a series, so it's actually like gonna hopefully have time to like go through the events of the book instead of just like a crammed movie. And like it's a younger guy. It's the guy from. Did you see the Adam Project? The one with Ryan Reynolds and that kid.
Yeah. Well, I didn't see it, but I know you're talking about the kid, right?
Yeah, the kid is Percy Jackson. So it's like a younger guy that's like more age appropriate for Percy Jackson in the book, and he's like a pretty decent actor from what I have seen him in. So that's pretty good.
Cool.
And that was the last post banter I had. Woohoo!
I feel like there's something else.
The Garfield trailer drops.
Oh.
Daniel texted me in a fit of rage. He was like, Chris Pratt is Garfield? I thought that was just a meme. And I was like, no, dude, like, it's real.
Listen, it's just, I think I seen you TikTok too where something like, it was the Squidward thing.
Yeah, he did.
Because he's played all these animated characters now. And it's like, you're a Squidward, I'm Squidward. Are there any other Squidwards I should know about? And it's just meow.
And that was so funny because it was Garfield.
But it's
Garfield.
Garfield.
that sent me. That was funny. Yeah.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I love Chris Pratt. He's a great guy. But I don't need him being all of my animated characters from childhood.
Who should he be next? Who should we cast him as next? What would you least want to see him as? What would you least want to see Chris Pratt as next for the animation?
God. I don't even know what other animation stuff would be going on.
He's Calvin and Hobbes.
No! Dude, he is Charlie Brown.
Yeah, he just plays something that's like so not like he's like plays like a kid or like some old lady or something. I don't know. He voices every character in the next Spider-Verse movie. All the Spider-Men are just Chris Pratt.
I wonder how Chris Pratt would actually do as a Spider-Man.
I don't know. I mean, he did work with Tom Holland on an animated project on Pixar's Onward, so he might maybe pick up some mannerisms or something.
Yeah. So
we're onto something here, Daniel.
we
see it announced tomorrow. Like Chris Pratt is the next
Chris
Spider-Man.
Pratt is Megamind in Megamind 2.
Oh, that'd be no. All right, you ready for the next segment?
Yeah, what we got?
Patron shoutouts. Cue the Epic Star Music. Boost got Patron Lori, Frank, Rick, Lisa, Evan, Tony. Thank you so much for pledging the tier. It gets you the shout out. If you'd like to support us over on Patreon, the link is down in the description. You get the audio episode early, special benefits, cool perks, all that jazz, and more. Thank you sincerely to our Patron supporters. Are you ready for cool comments?
Yeah, what were people saying this time, huh?
So, I actually have started posting a couple TikToks again. Kind of slowly dip my toe back into it because I've kind of taken a break since like the strike. Mm-hmm. But I posted our conversation on Inside Out and you saying it was bad. And Ethan McKay said he just embarrassed himself by insulting the greatest movie ever. And then I think he finished watching the TikTok and said, and he insulted the Marvels in all caps. And I don't know if he's like mad at that, or if that's like a dub for me for like I don't know what that is saying, but yeah.
Yeah, I was throwing shade. Come at me, bro.
And then someone commented Cars 2 Big W on our inside. I cannot escape Cars 2.
Yeah, no. I
Like,
saw that.
I cannot
I was
escape Cars 2.
I saw that. That was so freaking funny,
Like
dude.
if Cars
I'm just
2
like,
is
why
your
that
favorite
everywhere?
Pixar movie, I don't know. Like I don't know what that
They're a
says
different
about
breed.
you. Maybe I need to rewatch Cars 2. But I don't know, man. Like, can we be friends? I don't know.
Jake, we should rewatch it together and then do a podcast.
Yeah,
on
we'll
it.
do like an apology video, like be like a really sad like thumbnail, like we made a mistake, and it's like Cars 2 is the best ever. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah. All right. With the introduction,
Yeah, tell me when.
when.
We just talk about whatever we want to talk about. Now we're done.
Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. We really sincerely appreciate it. Subscribe because next time is the beginning of December, which means we'll be in our Christmas festive gear. I've not told Daniel this, but that's what's happening next. So get ready.
Sure.
Woo. All right. See you next time. Goodbye.
Fare thee well.